reflet d'Afrique Télévision, le Flash Info, the Breaking News.
Hello, this is the Flash Info on Fed Afrique Television. Voting counting started in Malawi on Tuesday at 6 p.m. after polls closed. The COVID-19 pandemic did not deter the 6.8 million voters who went to the polls to elect a president in an election that took place in a largely calm and peaceful atmosphere. According to observers, Albert Tebulu, monitor of the ruling Democratic Progressive Party (TPP), told the press they had no difficulty during the voting process. From opening at 6 a.m. to closing at 6 p.m. everyone was able to freely elect the candidate of their choice without being intimidated. Malawians were called to polls for the second time in a year after the cancellation of the May 2019 presidential election that resulted in the victory of incumbent President Peter Mutharika. According to the new rules in force since this year, more than 50% of the voters must now be cast to be elected in the first round. If not, a second round is required to decide between the first two. The Electoral Commission has until June 3 to announce the results. In Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe's fuel price will go up to as much as 152% today, the energy regulator said after the government removed a fixed exchange rate in place since March. The last time the Southern African country saw similar steep rise in fuel prices, in January 2019, violent protests broke out, leaving as many as 17 people dead after a crackdown by the security forces. Zimbabwe is already going through its worst economic crisis in a decade, marketed by high inflation, food and medical shortages. The price of petrol will go up to 71.62 Zimbabwean dollars per liter from 28.96 Zimbabwean dollars previously. The regulator announced on Tuesday night the diesel price will now be 62.77 Zimbabwean dollars from 24.93 Zimbabwean dollars. Zimbabwe began weekly foreign currency auctions on Tuesday in a bid to increase efficiency in the allocation of scarce US dollars in the economy, ending a fixed exchange rate of 25 local dollars to the United States dollar, which had been in place since March 30th. The average exchange rate closed at 57,003,582 Zimbabwean dollars to $1 US after the auction. In Algeria, former Prime Minister Ahmed Ouyaya was sentenced to 12 years, while ex-Energy Minister Youssef Youss was sentenced to 3 years in prison, El Kabar news website reported. The verdict was the second against Ouyaya, who had already been sentenced to 15 years in another corruption case in December. The court also handed down a 20-year prison term to Ouaya's former Industry of Mining Minister Abdelasalam Bouchouare, while businessman Murad Olmi received 10 years sentence. All the charges were connected to corruption, money laundering, and abuse of power. The Arab League on Tuesday called on Ethiopia to refrain from starting to fill the reservoir of the large dam in its building on the Nile before an agreement is reached with Egypt and Sudan. The resolution prepared by Egypt and approved by the Arab League foreign minister, except those of Djibouti and Somalia, was adopted during a video conference. It calls Ethiopia not to fill the reservoir of the Renaissance Dam without having concluded an agreement with downstream countries. Ethiopia has indicated that it will start filling the reservoir of the dam in July, even without an agreement with Cairo and Khartoum. The Arab League meeting comes after last week's failure of negotiations between Egypt, Sudan and Ethiopia. The Green Renaissance Dam that Ethiopia is building on the Blue Nile has been a source of great tension between Addis Ababa and Cairo since 2011. Sudan and Egypt fear that this dam will restrict their access to water downstream. Thanks for watching, dear viewers. Stay tuned on Fed Afrique Television.
Reflet d'Afrique Télévision, le Flash Info, the Breaking News.